2025 is quickly becoming the year where a lot of people, unfortunately, are learning the truth that the content creators that they love and that create things for them on a nigh daily basis are slowly devolving into their true selves, letting the mask slip and revealing to people just who they are on the inside. The situation that I will be covering briefly today is one that unfortunately doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon due to the fact that the creator or creators in question have chosen to prolong their mistakes by continuing to double, triple, or quadruple down and continuing to lie and obfuscate, leading, funny enough, to community notes being left on their Twitter pages and them trying to tweet obscure images to try and hide that they got in trouble. Funny enough, the individual that I will be focusing on today, that being Bao the Whale, has a lot of stark contrasts to somebody that she had a kinship with a couple of years ago, that being Jason Thorhall, the guy that famously it was unable to apologize because he's a second-generation Blizzard employee that can do no wrong. How did this situation start in the first place? Why is Bao choosing to act like this, and where do I think that this is going to go from here? Well, let's talk about that. This situation seems to have started from, in my personal opinion, two different vectors. The first one being the situation that Emaru talked about with MizuhanaOshibe a couple of days ago, where she relayed how MizuhanaOshibe, a big creator in the content creation scene, had been systematically giving her kinds of abuse behind the scenes, including throwing things at her, treating her rudely, and threatening to off himself because she was somehow a better creator than him. I don't think I need to say, but the allegations that Emaru has placed on him are quite serious. I think the unfortunate thing for him is that he is already a taboo creator due to how he has acted in the past and the controversies he's already gotten into. I'm not going to give too much opinion on them, as that is an ongoing situation that she herself has said that she is taking care of. The spawning controversy that seemed to come after all of this was when Bao decided that she would make a tweet giving a somewhat generalized statement about men, or famous men in the sphere in general. I think it would be important for me to say that the overall message may not necessarily be a bad message. Yes, it is important for women and men to protect themselves from potentially predatory individuals who might want to shower them and gaslight them into thinking that they're a good person just so that they can use them later on. I may not even disagree completely with the statement. I can pretty much count a couple of different times where men and women have used their positions of power in the content creation scene to get things in their own lives or take advantage of other individuals. Funny enough, a more recent example of that happened literally the exact same day that Bao decided to make this innocuous tweet, where a Twitch streamer was banned for sexually assaulting a man while he was trying to get a massage. I don't think it needs to be said, but this is something that unfortunately is true with a lot of men and women. It thankfully doesn't appear to be an overwhelming majority, and I would be willing to bet that 99 out of 100 men and women are probably good, chill, down-to-earth people. However, the issue that I and a lot of people seemed to have is the innate phrasing that Bao decided to go with. Instead of being selective and just saying who we all know who she's talking about, that being MizuhanaOshibe, she decided to generalize and include all larger and successful male content creators. The problem, if you couldn't guess, is this is such an overly broad statement that literally this could count people like Nuxtaku or somebody like Seadog, both people that have given Bao plenty of attention in her life. So the question that starts to get asked is, if Bao is saying all larger and successful male content creators are evil if they choose to give you praise or talk to you in a positive way, does this mean that they are inherently evil? Does this mean, by the inverse, that female content creators, if they choose to give you the exact same attention, would that also make them evil? I think it's quite hilarious and probably just a little bit retarded to make that as an inference, because the truth to the matter is there are a lot of evil people in this world. They are oftentimes the most highlighted things that we see in the news, because drama, as we all know, is something that people are more prone to be attached to and more prone to giving their eyes to. However, it is also true that there are a lot of good male and female creators in this space, both for VTubers and in the overall content creation sphere, that have made the space better overall and have driven much better and more prominent content creators into the scene. It would stand to reason then that a lot of individuals, a lot of people that have a lot of respect, and a lot of individuals that are just like, hang on a moment, men are not bad inherently, we just choose to sometimes get caught up with the wrong ones. Hindsight is 50-50, and unfortunately, no matter how much you might think you know somebody, you probably won't know them completely. I understand this personally myself, and know that even if I try all I can to vet my friends, there really isn't much I can do about it. But even though people had quite a massive amount of criticism or even just kind words, Bao didn't seem to take it in strides, doubling down on a stream that would take place later, either the next day or the very same day that she made said tweet, and then again saying in a Discord server that the only people that are against her are grifters and pyropups. In my personal opinion, choosing to cast aside blame for a miswording of a tweet and saying that the only individuals who are upset with you are the content creators community that you recently discarded because you thought she was evil, and quote-unquote grifters, is to me a sign that Bao doesn't care that she said something that potentially alienates a lot of men that are good in her life, and instead she cares more about trying to be right. Now, to be honest, the people that will agree with her are inherently the close fans that do have a, what they think, really close parasocial connection with her. But the grand truth of it all is Bao saying this is unfortunately an indictment of what she thinks overall of men. I don't think that Bao is inherently a man-hater or is a misandrist. However, when I see that she is liking and giving praise to people who then bring up the bear situation that we previously had a laugh at earlier this year, it starts to make me wonder just how much does Bao as a content creator agree with the sentiment that men are evil? I guess that's something that I and probably you don't know because we are not Bao ourselves. But it is kind of interesting just seeing all of this stuff immediately come out. It is also interesting to see all of this come out after all of the Cinder drama has been reignited by her bringing out her own 1,000-page Google Doc and the reactions of people as a result. This doesn't seem to be a phenomenon that is new. I have observed after seeing content creators that do get into drama, either intentionally or sometimes unintentionally, seem to get a hunger for the attention that comes for acting out, as Bao seems to do. Now, again, this is all my own personal opinion, but I personally feel like the way that she is acting right now is a direct result of how she has chosen to carry herself over the past couple of months after acting the way she has. It's quite unfortunate, and again, it does appear to be a mask slipping moment where I don't think that this is going to be the end of everything. No, instead, I think that we are going to have a situation where if Bao doesn't figure out how to just be quiet about a situation, let sleeping dogs lie, and not break down on stream like some other furry content creators have, we're going to have a situation where she could break down on stream or lash out at people and become the next Jason Thor Hall. But that, again, is really just my observation and my opinion. An opinion that has been slowly forming over the past couple of months based off of how I've seen her and other content creators who have been in the situation that she has act. It's not fun, and to be honest with you, I used to have a lot more sympathy for Bao as an individual because of how she constantly was having issues with artists, managers, and people in general that seemed to screw her over. With all of this coming out, I'm not going to directly say that she is a liar or that she is too dumb or anything. But unfortunately, when you have mask off moments like this, where you reveal who you really are to your audience, it does start to make me, and I know a lot of other people, wonder how real you really are. How real is the persona that you put on, and just how real is everything that you portrayed when you choose to portray it. It's definitely going to make me not immediately feel bad for somebody when they bring on those crocodile tears on stream, but instead it's going to make me step back and further analyze somebody. I guess you could say that when a girl screams hellhound too much, she tends to not be believed when everybody looks her way and nothing is wrong. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? I'm always interested to see what other people think about dramas like this. I do think personally for myself, this whole thing is unfortunate, and I really do think that the year of 2025 is a year where people are being forced to look at their content creators outside of the parasocial lens. Now, personally, as somebody that does look outside of any content creator they like of a parasocial lens, and instead looks at them as a human being, I don't put so much blame on them as a creator or get horribly mad when their mask slips and I see who they truly are. Instead, I see them for what they actually are: a human. Somebody that is flawed, imperfect, and probably doesn't know everything of what they're doing. However, while I can give them some clemency for that matter, what I will not do is give mercy to somebody that refuses to back down when it is very apparent that if she just wanted to say, if Ms. Kiff is coming towards you, don't walk, run.